Willie D Live.
I'm a grandfather now, so but I'm really good. I feel really good, sharp, feel strong. I'm hanging in there.
Now, what do you have? A daughter, right?
I have two.
You have two
I have two granddaughters. I have two daughters
girls.
and a son, but I have two granddaughters. One is 2.5, and one is 3 weeks old.
Yeah. And what do they call you? The papa.
Him.
They call you him? No, they don't say him.
Yes, they do.
Really?
Well, the 3-week-old don't call me nothing yet.
Yeah.
But my oldest, Nola is her name, calls me him.
Yeah. Hey, are you still mad at people for not taking the jab?
No. Here's the thing. I'm not. People have kind of their own process, but for me, once I got the virus and passed out and went through all the long-term COVID, it was something. I mean, and watching people in the hospital that I was in die, I was like, it's something I was going to do. Mm-hmm. But I think I rejected mostly the fact that people who were not experts were out-experting the expert. Like, if you listen, doctors like anybody else have a propensity to be wrong, but they damn sure probably have a better shot at being right than some dude on the internet who
Well, in this case, they were wrong.
I disagree.
You think?
What do you mean?
Well,
wrong about what?
But they actually said that the jab was not as effective as they claimed it was, and they said that there was many reports that they said that they actually knew that.
And see, when we start talking about they and them, I'd have to see what you were talking about.
And him.
I'm him. But there was this hodgepodge of people getting online and putting stuff up. But I can tell you this. I talked to my doctor that I've had for 30 years. I trust him. I trust him with my family. And I took the jab. Now, I'm not going to... I was angry at people who had no medical expertise pretending like it wasn't real. And people were dying. There are 1 million people who are not here anymore, as evidenced by the fact that there's so many black orphans right now. And I know a lot of people who died of just not believing something.
But what do you say to those people who said so many people died that they died if they would not have died if not for taking the jab?
I think that people, I think that it was sad that something became so political. I think because of the leadership apparatus in this country, and it became a political statement, and it's really weird. There have been 2 human viruses that have been eradicated. 2 viruses. One was smallpox, and that took hundreds of years to get rid of, and the other was what was it? One was smallpox, and one was polio. Yeah. But polio is not even eradicated now. It was in Afghanistan and Pakistan, and now it's resurging again. It's because enough people haven't been vaccinated. I'm not a medical doctor, but I am going to trust people who I've trusted with my entire life. I know that my granddaughter took the very same polio vaccine to a greater or lesser degree than I did. And she did the same vaccine that we had starting in the late 50s they have now. So it's interesting that people have had to take these vaccines their whole life, and all of a sudden it became a political cudgel. And I just thought it was, I have a voice like everybody else has a voice. I used it from my experience, and I don't feel bad about anything I said or any conflict I had.
You don't even feel bad for calling people motherfuckers?
No.
Well, you were mad. But I understood why you were mad. I mean, you almost died.
I almost died.
And I could understand the rage. I mean, and here's the thing, I get messages every time you do some shit.
Right.
Look what your boy.
Right.
This is your boy doing. Check out your boy.
Right.
So I heard it. I would see it and I hear it. And yeah, you were hot.
Yeah. Well, it's I damn near killed a couple of people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My son was sick. He had my daughter, my everybody I work with. They shut down comedy because I passed out at the stage. When I was in the hospital, I passed out actually in Nashville. Got home, passed out again. Had to go to UCLA. When I got to UCLA on Tuesday, I'd passed out. I think that was a Friday in Nashville. Monday, I'd gotten home, passed out again. Had to go to UCLA. It was a young man, 26 years old, that died from COVID. He was a kid. I was playing around with the nurse, and I was like, oh, they're giving out iPads. And she went, no, this is so he can say goodbye to his family. So when I hear people saying shit that was just so patently not true, it was ridiculous to me. And it's funny. I don't care how long you went to school. All you got to do is say you're a PhD on the internet, and motherfuckers believe you. I'm like, and so that's why I took umbrage with it. But I don't necessarily feel bad about. People are gonna make their own choices. I think that I made mine, and I'm confident and secure in the one I made.
Yeah. You mentioned your son, Carl.
Mm-hmm.
Carl has Asperger's.
Yes.
Right? And you often include him in your show.
Right.
And it's funny as hell. I'm just going ahead and say it. I don't think I should be feeling guilty about laughing if it's bad at laughing. But do you ever get any backlash from your wife about that?
She can go home and cry in a pile of money. These are not single experiences, right?
Yeah.
So they're shared experiences, right? And just like you're a creator, I'm a creator. I think that there are things that people rather I not talk about, but I think that if it's in my purview, if you living in my house, the least you could do is let me is be a part of what pays the bill. So no, I don't feel bad. I think like any dynamic, it can be strained based on the information people want to hold, closer to the vest. But I don't necessarily feel bad.
Well, what about when you are including jokes about LaDonna?
She doesn't like that. But no, like I said, it's shared experiences. She has her version of it. I have mine, and I'm the kind of artist that likes to include or is. I'm a sayer of see. I see what I say. Yeah. I say what I see, and I see her a lot. I interact with her a lot. My experiences are based on my conversations are based on experiences I have, and she happens to take up a great deal of space.
Does she ever fire back at you with her own
but no,
jokes?
She ain't got a microphone. Who cares? Nobody gonna hear but me. Yeah, no. Quite often.
Yeah.
Quite often, yeah, for sure. Sure. I'm nowhere near as verbose at home as I am on stage. Let's just say that. No, I'm not. I'm nowhere near as brave at home as I am on stage.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. The biggest story in sports right now is Deion Sanders.
Yes.
Colorado Buffaloes. Right. What's your take on that?
I think it's, it was funny because Deion has always wanted to be a coach. I mean, he coached he coached Pee Wee, then he coached high school, then he coached, he coached in at HBCUs, and now he's here. And I think it makes sense that if you're a great player, you probably would be a great teacher. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I thought that he disrupted an idea that because you went to you were a coach of a certain school that you couldn't coach at this level. It was a way that they used to keep black people out of coaching. It's the same as when they didn't want you to vote. They had poll taxes and tests and all those kind of things. And I think he's done remarkably well. I think you can't. I mean, but when you do an Affleck commercial and get beat by the Ducks, I think he played well. I think what he did against the Trojans was brilliant. They were up, and then he ran an offense that made them speed up and use the altitude to tire him. He's a brilliant guy, one of the best football players that ever existed. Chances are he's going to be a pretty good coach.
Yeah. Well, I want to challenge you on that theory.
Sure.
I want to challenge you.
Okay.
Because I've seen a number of great athletes.
Yeah.
I mean, the best of the best.
Sure,
and they don't oftentimes make good
Most
coaches.
times they don't.
So that's what makes Deion particularly special, is that he knows how to tap into that athlete's psyche and get the best out of them. Not just on the field, but in life.
Sure. Well, we don't know yet. So here's the thing. I'm very excited about the potential what Deion is doing. But I think that the idea that, some people call him the greatest coach, I'm like, come on now, we gotta. It's a short litmus test, and he's gonna have his victories. I think that no matter what happens this season, he's already elevated Colorado, so he's already won. I don't imagine that he's going to stay there long because if he keeps being as successful as he is, he's gonna elevate.
They're coming.
Yes, they're gonna elevate, and so that's the one thing about Deion. He played at San Francisco. I played at Dallas. I played at Atlanta. He gonna go with getting his good. So I think that it's best to enjoy him and to be ready for the fact that when it's time to ascend, he will.
We know why some people hate Deion, people who don't look like Deion, why they hate Deion. But why do you think that people who look like Deion, who probably have similar backgrounds to Deion, hate Deion Sanders so much?
I don't know why anybody would hate anybody who is just being who they are. Like Deion has always been exactly who he is. And it's rare that you get to take what you want to do and retrofit that with who you are. So I can't get into the mindset of why anybody would hate anybody who's authentically themselves. Mm-hmm. But I do think that there's probably a measure of self-hate for them, probably, or a jealousy. But to me, to hate a man who was blessed to find out exactly who he was and to fashion that into a livelihood and a brand is spectacular, and it's to be a lot. And I think we could learn more from that than be detracted by it.
Yeah. Man, this is what I want to know. We've been friends for over 30 years.
I said 30. You said I was shortchanging it, so it's almost 40 now. But okay.
Yeah. I'll just say we're safe at over 30. That way, even if
let's
it's
round
50,
it up.
Okay,
let's say 25, so we both get younger.
No, 25 is 25.
Yeah.
But I've always just been fascinated by your mind. Like you have an abstract, what I was calling abstract mind. You think very much like most comedians, you think outside of the box, but you even further to the left or further to the right, whatever makes you comfortable. But you have a certain thing, like you were just talking about Deion Sanders. Getting beat by, like having an Aflac commercial and getting beat by some ducks. You know, that like we know he has I know he has an Aflac commercial. I know he got beat by some ducks. But I didn't put the two together.
Yeah. Well, I
know he got beaten by the Oregon Ducks, but I didn't put the two together and say,
the great thing about the process that we're in right now is you have to have like-minded, like I surround myself with people who really know my mind and how it works. And so you have a creative brain trust, and somebody will come up with a joke, or somebody will come up with a through line, or you'll be in conversations. And so if you surround yourself with people who are always thinking and firing stuff off, chances are your mindset is going to be more amenable to having conversations. It's the best thing in the world is to talk to crazy-ass comedians when they don't have anything at stake. And if you surround yourself in an environment where that's pretty prevalent, you're going to hear and say and do some things that are kind of contrary to people. So I think you have to be immersed in an environment where people are thinking differently, acting differently, and saying things that are just not the norm.